American drivers are being quietly drained of over $2 billion every single year at the pump. Not because gas is expensive, though Lord knows it is, but because of what you don't know. And trust me, the gas stations, the auto manufacturers, and a whole lot of people in between are praying you never figure this out. And today, I'm pulling back the curtain on 15 fuel-saving secrets that the industry has buried so deep. Now, don't you dare skip ahead, because secret number 5 alone, that one habit, could save you over $1,000 this year. Think of your car's fuel system like the lungs of a long-distance runner. If those lungs are working right, that runner goes the distance, maybe even hits 300,000 miles. But if someone's been feeding that runner bad information his whole career, he burns out at 50,000, and the coach, the dealership, smiles all the way to the bank. That's what we're fixing today. All right, let's count it down. 15 to 1. Here we go. Secret 15, and we're already swinging. Here it is. Stop squeezing that pump handle on full blast. I know. You want to get in, get out, get on with your life. I understand. But here's what the gas station is absolutely not telling you. When you pump fuel at maximum flow rate, the handle cranked wide open, you are pushing liquid into your tank so fast that it agitates and aerates the fuel. You're introducing tiny air bubbles into the liquid, and aerated fuel, that burns less efficiently than calm, settled fuel. You're basically paying for foam. The National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, the same folks who make sure the pumps aren't cheating you on quantity, have published data confirming that fuel density and flow rate directly affect how much usable energy gets into your tank. The free fix, pump on the middle setting, not full blast, not a trickle. Medium flow. It takes maybe 90 extra seconds, and your engine will thank you with better combustion every single mile. Number 14, and this one right here is about when you fill up, not how. Here's the physics, plain and simple. Gasoline is a liquid, and like all liquids, it expands in heat and contracts in cold. Gas stations store their fuel in underground tanks, and that fuel's temperature fluctuates throughout the day. When you pump gas in the heat of the afternoon, say 2 or 3 p.m., that fuel is warmer, it's expanded, and you're getting less energy per gallon than the pump is charging you for. The U.S. Department of Energy has studied this phenomenon at length. Petroleum engineers call it volumetric versus thermal density. The idea that a gallon of warm fuel contains measurably fewer BTUs of energy than a gallon of cool fuel. The free fix, fill up in the early morning or late evening. The ground is cooler, the underground storage tanks are cooler, and you get denser, more energy-rich fuel for the exact same price. That's not a trick, that's thermodynamics. 13. And this one right here makes me grind my teeth every time. Your tires are essentially the shoes your engine wears. And just like trying to run a marathon in soggy boots, underinflated tires create rolling resistance that your engine has to fight against every second you're driving. The engine burns more fuel just to maintain speed. You slow down on the highway, you lose momentum at lights. All of it costs you gas. Now, here's the dirty secret. The average American passenger vehicle has at least one tire underinflated by more than 8 psi at any given time, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. 8 psi below spec can reduce fuel economy by up to 3.3% per underinflated tire. 4 tires, you're doing the math. The free fix, check your tire pressure every single month. The correct number is on the sticker inside your driver's door jamb, not on the tire itself. The number on the tire is the maximum, and if you're filling to that, you might also be overinflated. All right, folks, this is the one. Secret 5, the one I promised you at the start. Your engine is essentially a big air pump. It sucks in air, mixes it with fuel, and ignites it. The ratio of air to fuel, called the air-fuel mixture, is controlled by your car's computer, the ECU. And here's the thing. Your ECU is smart, but it's not magic. It can adjust within a range, but if your air filter is so dirty and clogged that it's strangling the engine's air intake, the computer will compensate by enriching the fuel mixture, adding more fuel to make up for the restricted air. More fuel for the same power output. That is, by definition, worse fuel economy. A severely clogged air filter can reduce fuel economy by up to 10%, according to EPA testing data. On a car that gets 30 miles per gallon, that's 3 miles per gallon gone. If you drive 15,000 miles a year, that's 500 gallons of wasted fuel. At $3.50 a gallon, that is $1,750 a year into thin air, literally. And here's the kicker. Dealerships and quick lube shops bank on you not knowing this. They'll show you your dirty filter, hold it up to the light, make it look like death itself, and charge you $60, $70, sometimes $100 to replace it. You can buy a premium OEM air filter at any auto parts store for $8 to $20 and install it in under 5 minutes. No tools required on most vehicles. Just unclip the housing, swap the filter, clip it back. The free fix: check your air filter every 15,000 miles or once a year, whichever comes first. Hold it up to a light source. If you can't see light through it, replace it. Do it yourself. Save the $60. And over the life of your car, over 300,000 miles, this habit alone is worth thousands of dollars. That's your $1,000 secret, folks. A $20 piece of paper and foam. If that just lit a fire under you, buckle up, because what's coming in the top 4, that's where we go from saving money to changing how you think about your car entirely. Secret 4 is one that petroleum engineers have known for years, and it involves something you do every single time you get to the pump. Don't go anywhere. 4. The first click deception. And for this one, I need you to think about the last time you filled your gas tank. Long. When the pump clicks off automatically, that first automatic shutoff, most people pull the nozzle out and then walk away. Job done, right? Wrong. That first click is a vapor protection mechanism. It detects a certain level of fuel vapor and liquid fuel near the filler neck and shuts off to prevent overflow and vapor emissions. But your tank is not full, not even close. Here's the problem. If you then try to top off, keep squeezing the handle after that first click, you risk pushing liquid fuel into the charcoal vapor canister in your evaporative emission system. That canister is designed to capture vapors. Liquid fuel saturates and destroys it. A replacement charcoal canister at a dealership runs $200 to $600. And topping off is cited by NIST calibration technicians as one of the leading causes of EVAP system failure in vehicles under 100,000 miles. The free fix: when the pump clicks, stop. Accept the click. Don't top off. Don't round it up to the next dollar. Don't do 3 more little squeezes. Just stop. Click means done. Walk away with your dignity and your charcoal canister intact. 3. We're in the top 3, folks, and this one right here is what I call free miles. Completely free. Modern fuel-injected vehicles, virtually every car built after the year 2000, have a feature in their engine management software called Deceleration Fuel Cutoff, or DFCO. Here's what it does. When you are in gear and your foot is off the gas, the engine's computer stops injecting fuel entirely. Zero fuel burn. The engine is spinning purely on momentum and compression. The car is essentially coasting on its own inertia. But here's what kills it. The moment you shift to neutral while slowing down, which a lot of drivers do thinking they're saving fuel, the computer detects the engine is in idle load, and it resumes fuel injection at idle rate to keep the engine running. You've just deactivated your free coasting mode. Petroleum engineers and driving efficiency coaches have been teaching this for years. It's backed by real-world hypermiling data. You use more fuel coasting in neutral than coasting in gear. The free fix: when you see a red light ahead or a stop sign or a highway exit, take your foot off the gas and stay in gear. Let the engine braking and DFCO do their job. Only shift to neutral or press the clutch right before you actually stop to prevent stalling. Practice this on every approach to every stop, and you will see a measurable improvement in your fuel economy within a week. Free miles, folks. Free miles. 2. And this one isn't one secret. It's a system of neglect that the entire automotive service industry is quietly praying you keep falling into. Your spark plugs, your oxygen sensors, your fuel injectors, these are the holy trinity of combustion efficiency. When they're working right, your engine burns fuel at near perfect efficiency. When any one of them degrades, your ECU compensates imperfectly, and fuel economy suffers across the board. Old, worn spark plugs cause incomplete combustion. The fuel-air mixture misfires or burns incompletely. Dirty or failing oxygen sensors give the ECU bad air-fuel ratio data, causing it to run rich, too much fuel, not enough air. Clogged fuel injectors deliver uneven spray patterns, meaning some cylinders get too much fuel, some get too little. The AAA estimates that neglected routine maintenance, specifically these 3 items, cost the average driver up to $1,200 per year in wasted fuel and avoidable repairs. That's not a repair bill. That's money burned in combustion that never moved you an inch. The fix, and it's a cheap one: spark plugs. Replace every 30,000 miles for standard plugs, 100,000 miles for iridium or platinum. This is a $20 to $60 DIY job. Oxygen sensors. If your fuel economy has dropped noticeably and there's no obvious cause, have your O2 sensor tested. A bad one costs more in wasted fuel over 6 months than the sensor itself costs to replace. Fuel injectors. Every 30,000 miles, run a fuel system cleaner, a $10 bottle you pour directly in your tank before filling up. Mechanic approved, data backed, completely at home, in seconds. Brands like Chevron Techron are used by professional fleet managers for a reason. Take care of the Trinity, and your engine breathes clean, burns efficiently, and goes the distance. All right, folks, let's bring it home. We have arrived. The number one secret. The number one secret that is so counterintuitive, so completely backwards from everything you've been told, that when I explain it, half of you are going to rewind this and watch it again. This is the one the gas stations, the oil companies, and frankly a whole lot of people in the automotive industry never want to become common knowledge. The quarter tank rule. Here's the conventional wisdom you've been fed your entire driving life. Don't let your tank run too low. You'll suck up sediment from the bottom of the tank and damage your fuel pump. You've heard it. It sounds reasonable. It even feels true. And because of it, millions of drivers fill up at a half tank. Some fill up at 3/4. And that habit is quietly costing you money in a way you have never considered. Here's the truth. Fuel is heavy. A gallon of gasoline weighs approximately 6 pounds. A full tank on an average sedan holds about 14 gallons. That's 84 pounds of extra weight you're hauling around every single mile. According to the Department of Energy, every extra 100 pounds in a vehicle reduces fuel economy by about 1%. A full tank versus a quarter tank can represent 60 to 70 pounds of difference, nearly 0.5% of fuel economy, all the time, every trip. Now, is 0.5% the end of the world? By itself? No. But here's where the quarter tank rule becomes powerful. The optimal strategy is to fill up when you reach a quarter tank, not a half, not 3/4, and absolutely not a full tank every time. You're carrying the minimum safe fuel load for the maximum amount of your driving. Your fuel pump, contrary to the old myth, is cooled by the fuel around it, so you never want to run bone dry. A quarter tank keeps the pump submerged and cool. But you're not hauling 60 extra pounds of liquid gasoline everywhere you go for no reason. And here's the second dimension of the quarter tank rule that petroleum engineers know and almost nobody else does. Fuel expands with heat. A full tank on a hot day has less thermal headroom. The fuel has nowhere to expand, pressure builds in the system, and your evaporative emission system has to work harder to manage it. A tank that's filled to the quarter point before topping off actually allows the fuel to thermally stabilize before you add to it. The free fix: change your refueling habit. Stop filling up out of habit or anxiety. Watch your gauge. When it hits a quarter tank, find a gas station and fill up. Not before, not at half, at a quarter. You'll carry less weight, reduce evap system stress, and over the lifetime of your vehicle, combined with everything else we've covered today, this habit is part of a system that can save the average American driver $1,500 to $2,500 a year.